Pahlavi texts, translated by E.W. West, Part 1, Shayast La Shayast, Sacred Books of the East, Oxford University Press, 1860, Chapter 12. The rule is this, that when one's form of worship, Yast, is performed, and it is not possible for him to prepare it, the practice of those of the primitive faith is, when the girdle, I Piyaung, is twined about a sacred twig bundle. Barasong, of 7 twigs, Tak, is to consecrate a sacred cake, Drono, thrice, which becomes his form of worship, that is performed 1 degree better through the sacred cake, and one of the merit of a 3-fold consecration of the sacred cake, the high priests has specially taught in the Husparam Nask, that it is as much as that of a lesser form of worship. The rule is this, that he who is himself more acquainted with religion is he who considers himself who is more acquainted with religion than himself as high priest, and considers him as high priest, so that he may not destroy the bridge of the soul, as it says in the Sakadum Nask, that no one of them that is an inattentive Asrushdar man, who has no high priest, attains to the best existence. Not through his recitations should be so many that they have made his duty and good works as such much as the verdure, sapdak, of the plants when it shoots forth in spring, the verdure which Auharmazd has given abundantly. The rule is this, that they keep a fire in the house, because from not keeping the fire properly, there arise less pregnancy of women, and a weeping of Didano for the loss of strength, Tanu of men, and the chilled charcoal, Angist, and the rest, which are without advantage, Bar, are to be carried away from the fire. And in the Spend Nask, it is revealed that a fire, when they shall make it quite clean from its chilled charcoal, has as much comfort as a man whose clothing they should make clean. The rule is this, that when anyone passes away, it is proper to render useless, as much as the smallest mouth veil, for it says in the Vendadad, that even if those Mazdayasnans should leave on him who is dead in parting with him as much as that which a damsel would leave in parting with the food bowl, Padma Nako, that is, a bag, Anva Nako Hana. The decree is this, that it is a Tanapuhar sin at root, which is hell, and in the Vendadad, it says that the clothing of a charitable Dahisan Homand soul, and even the clothing which they will give it, are out of almsgiving. Dasaran. The rule is this, that when anyone passes away after keeping fasting the 3 nights, still the presentation of holy water, Zohar, to the fire is to be performed, which is the presenting of the holy water to the nearest fire. For in the Damdadnask it is revealed that when they sever Tebrund, the consciousness of men, it goes out to the nearest fire, then out to the stars, and then out to the moon, and then out to the sun, and it is needful that the nearest fire, which is that to which it has come out, should become stronger, Zor Homand Tar. The rule is this, that they should not leave a nail paring unprayed over. Anafsu Dak, for if it be not prayed over, Afsand, it turns into the arms and equipments of the Mazanan demons. This is explicitly shown in the Vendidad. The rule is this, that the labor of childbirth is not to be accomplished at night, except while, with the light of a fire, are the stars and moon upon it, for great opposition is connected with it. And in the 20th of the Husparam Nask, it is shown that over the soul of him who works in the dark there is more prominence of the evil spirit. The rule is this, that they should allow the egg and other food for those gifts and favors of the sovereign moon, Ma'e, Kudai, and other angels, so that it is to be allowed by them thus. I will consecrate so much food for such an angel, and not thus one sacred cake, Vrono, in so much food. And the reason of it is this, that they who shall allow this, one sacred cake out of so much food, and of which it is one thing less, even though one should consecrate it many times, still then he is not repaid, and they who should allow thus, I will consecrate so much food for such an angel. Though one shall reverence him with many sacred cakes, it is proper. And in the 22 sections of the Sakadum Nask, grievous things are shown about those who do not make offerings, Austofried, unto the angels. The rule is this, that when a woman becomes pregnant, as long as it is possible, a fire cares for well. But one cares for well is to be maintained in the house, because it is revealed in the Spend Nask that to Dukdag, the mother of Zarathustra, when she was pregnant with Zarathustra for 3 nights, every night a leader, Shah, with 150 demons came for the destruction of Zarathustra, and yet, owing to the existence of the fire in the dwelling, they knew no means for it. The rule is this, where a child is born, during 3 days, the protection from demons, wizards, and witches. A fire is to be made at night until daylight, and is to be maintained there in the day, and pure incense is to be put upon it, as is revealed in the 30th of the Sakadum Nask. The rule is this, that from a toothpick the bark is to be well cut off, for there are some of those of the primitive faith who have said that when they shall make it for the teeth with the bark on, and they throw it away, a pregnant woman who puts a foot upon it is doubtful about its being dead matter. The rule is this, that it is well if any one of those who have their handmaid, Kakar, in cohabitation, Zanih, and offspring is born of her, shall accept all those who are male as sons. But those who are female are no advantage, because an adopted son, Sator, is requisite. And in the 14th of the Husparam Nask, the high priest have taught thus, my son is suitable also as thy son, but my daughter is not suitable also as thy daughter. And there are many who do not appoint an adopted son with this idea, that the child of a handmaid may be acceptable by us as a son. The rule is this, that one is to preserve much in the beginning of offspring, since it is for the acquisition of many good works at once, because in the Spend and Nihadum Nasks the high priests have taught that the duty and good works which a son performs are as much as the father's, as though they had been done by his own hand. And in the Damdad Nask it is revealed thus, likewise to the good works in like manner, which come to the father as his own. The rule is this, that when they shall give to the worthy is as much as is proper and beyond for eating and accumulating, because in the Nihadum Nask the high priests have taught thus, when a man gives bread to a man, even though that man has too much bread, all the good works which he shall perform through that superabundance become as much his who gave it as though they had been done by his own hand. The rule is this, that in the night water is not to be drawn from a well as in the Bog Yasno. Notice is given about the uncleanness, ayos dasari, of well water at night. The rule is this, that in the night anything eatable is not to be cast away to the north, because a fiend will become pregnant, and when it is cast away, one yata ahu va'irio is to be uttered. Those of the primitive faith who used to act more orthodoxically, who Rasta Ki Hatar, when food was eaten by them in the night, for the sake of preservation from sin, owing to the coming of the strainings and sprinklings onto the ground, directed a man to chant the Ahunavar from the beginning of the feast, Yazd, to the end, and more especially at the feast of the seasonal festivals, as it says in the Hadokt Nask, that of the sayings which are spoken out of the Ahunavar is that which is most triumphant. The rule is this, that when one sees a hedgehog, he takes it back to the plain, and his own place is to be preserved free from danger, for in the Vendidad the high priest have taught that every day when the hedgehog voids urine into an ant's nest, 1,000 ants will die. The rule is this, that some who are of the good religion say, when one is washing his face, one Asham is always to be uttered, and that Asham is to be uttered before the washing, for when he utters it while washing his face, he is doubtful, Vater Humand, about the water coming to his mouth. The rule is this, that they select from the purifiers when their business, Mendavam, is as important, Rapa, as purity and impurity, him with whom the control of ablution, Padi Yavi, and non-ablution is connected, they select him especially with regard to the good disposition and truthful speaking of the man, and to the particular work, and on account of his being in innocence, he is to be considered more righteous. As in the Vendidad it says about 2 shares of righteousness, how one should tell that he is a righteous man, O Zarathustra, the Spitman, who is a purifier, who should be a speaker that speaks truly, an inquirer of the sacred text, that is, he has performed his ritual, Yast, a righteous one, who specially understands purification from the religion of the Mazdayastians, that is, he understands its religious formulas, Nirang. When it is so that the control of their ablution is connected with him, so that they consider what pertains to the purifying bowl, Zak-e, Tastik, as his, and ever abstain from it, through the angels hear and consider them as clean, and they select for him who consecrate the water and a bull's urine, Gomez, on account of their control or purification. Yosta Sarkari, and is to be performed very observantly by the consecrators at the place which is to be measured with a measure, and very exactly Kuptar, and the purifier is so much the better when washed again, and when it is by someone through whose periodic Zamanik care he is thus done. For in the periodic interval, many secret kinds of pollution are produced. Of the celebrators of the Vendidad, the good are they who shall again perform the Navashadar rite, for on account of the same nicety, Nazuki, which is written above by me, and on account of much also that is secret, which has happened and mostly arises about it, there is no harm from performing it. And any one of those who shall receive the water and bull's urine, it is very important to wash beforehand, Pavan Pest, because if there be impurity about him, and he puts a hand to the cup, Gamak, the water and the bull's urine, they are unclean, Apadavo. When it is so that there be someone, when so, it is better that they always wash his eyelids, Moyatgas, and to wash them by the clean is good. The rule is this, that thou shouldest not consider even anyone hopeless, and they should not set their minds steadfastly on hell. Thereby much sinfulness, for which there is a desire, would be undesirable, because there is nothing which is a sin in my religion for which there is no retribution, as says in the Gathas, thus, of those who are aware that thou art Abu Harmaz, is even he who is infamous as Paco, and they know the punishment of him even who is very sinful. And as to him even who is a very sinful person, through the desire of good works, which is entertained by him, there then comes more fully to him the joy of a soul newly worthy, Nuk Shagad, as in the Spend Nask. It was shown to Zarathustra about one man that all his limbs were in torment, and one foot was outside. And Zarathustra inquired of Uharmaz about the reason of it. And Uharmaz said that it was a man, Devans, by name. He was ruler over 33 districts, and he never practiced any good work except one time when fodder was conveyed by him to a sheep with that 1 foot. The rule is this, that when a man has performed his form of worship, Yast, and his wife has not performed it, it is extremely necessary to perform the suitable form of worship or to order a getokarid, so that they may become such as are dwelling more closely together in the spiritual existence than in the world. And in the Hadokt Nask it says that a woman, not Yurik, who shall be reverent, Tarsak, is to be considered as much as she who is suitable. Ziyak. The rule is this, that these 5 ceremonies, Yazisin, when they shall perform them, are good works. When one does not perform them, and the time is manifest to him, and when he shall set them aside to perform them, out at the proper time, they shall go to the bridge, as sin. The ceremonies which go to the bridge are these. And in the Husparam Nask, it says that they are the non-celebration of the rites, La Yastano of the season festivals, the Rapitvin, the 3 nights after a death, the days devoted to the guardian spirits, and the sun and moon. The rule is this, that at every one of these 3 things which come through hungry living, that is sneezing, yawning, and sighing, one is to speak out a yatha ahu va'eryo, and one asham bohu. The formulas as a whole. And also, when one hears the sneezing of any one, to speak in like manner, so is considered as an action of the good. And the Studgar Nask, it says thus, what prepares sneezing, that is, through what process, car, does it come? And Ohu Harmaz said thus, hungry living, O Zarathustra, because the remedy for its existence is the Ohunavar, O Zarathustra, the righteous. Now, even if a deed is outwardly just a little bit good, hey, it still counts. But the spiritual process of the intentions, the formulas with it, that is what really multiplies things. Like a fire can keep away like bugs and some stuff, but a fire kept spiritually, that's the real thing, right? And it's important to give reasons with spiritual teachings. Now, sometimes it's just, okay, we can quote the book. But, yeah, any reasons for the spiritual teachings to have the commandments that they do, that's certainly a very, very important thing. And on top of that, so if religion is half marriage, well, Islam teaches that half of religion is connected to marriage, right? Even without that teaching, the idea that a spiritual marriage, the spiritual side of marriage, is more important than the worldly side of marriages, I would completely and utterly agree with that.